some of the most cringe and some of the most iconic MCU moments. Let's do it.
MCU that had audiences losing their minds, there's another that made people physically sink into their seats. Starting with the king of badass MCU moments, Tony Stark. When Robert Downey Jr. first suited up in 2008,
Aura. Fucking aura. This shit. Brother. Oh my god, bro. I never wanted to be a hero so bad in my life when I saw this shit.
Marvel was a gamble that nobody believed in, but Iron Man didn't just work, it built an entire universe. Across 3 solo films, the Iron Man franchise grossed more than $2.4 billion worldwide, and RDJ became the face of an era. His wit, his arrogance, and his emotional range, every line felt like it mattered. But among all these bangers, one line stands above everything he ever said. In Avengers Endgame, when Thanos declared, "I am inevitable," and snapped his fingers to nothing, Tony looked down at his gauntlet on his own hand and delivered it. And just like...
Nah, he really do be the OG fucking... I think Iron Man died. Thanks, Snail Mail. Thank you.
that, theaters went feral. The moment became the talk of every community overnight, with Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube all saying the same thing. 11 years of storytelling paid off in 4 words. And on top of that, the film earned an 8.4 rating on IMDb.
It really is like the best Avenger.
But that's not all. The scene went so viral
that
people across the internet started inserting the line into cooking videos, sport clips, and everyday content because the delivery was so clean that it worked in almost any context. What makes it even wilder is that it was a last-minute addition, an editor's idea that was shot the very next day. Even today, as of 2026, I Am Iron Man remains the benchmark against which every MCU entry is quietly judged. None of them have even come close. But the same film that gave us that peak,
I never watched that movie.
Gave us one of the franchise's most embarrassing scenes.
Please do yourself a favor and watch
it. Had the portals, the snap, and 3 hours of earned emotional payoff. Somewhere in the
fight, a lot going on in cinema.
One of the moments was when Captain Marvel carries the gauntlet, and one
genuinely, I think I could still watch this movie back and still keep shit that I didn't see the first fucking 4 times watching it.
The Wasp and Nebula posed like a commemorative poster. The internet cringed instantly, not because the idea was bad, but because these women had never shared a scene, barely interacted, and had rarely.
You can only imagine how many Easter eggs they have to like set themselves up for the next fucking few decades in advance to just different movies and different prophecies of comics and shit.
Video essays spent
bad segment next. How about fuck yourself next? Bad sperm. Shouldn't have fucking hit the egg. Bad sperm. How about that? Huh? Bad fucking sperm.
Fans were unsparing, saying that's not representation, that's just a checklist. And every one of these characters deserve better than being used as a PR moment in someone else's movie. Even today, it's the go-to example of a moment that can't be assembled in post.
The fuck are they talking about? This is the entire fucking damn near Marvel universe in that fucking Endgame.
Thor had been stripped of Mjolnir, his eye, and Asgard, so audiences went into Infinity War emotionally raw for many reasons. The Avengers were losing, Wakanda was being overrun, and then the sky split open. But among all these moments, when Groot threw
I'm interested to see how they bring Wakanda back, I'll tell you that.
Entire alien army, and Thor landed with Stormbreaker. He simply said 3 words. The moment was so good that theaters in every country lost their minds. Reaction videos flooded YouTube, showing audiences screaming and grabbing strangers in excitement. But
y'all seen Kai and Speed actually beat Minecraft? Yeah, I tuned in and they had just beat it. I was genuinely fucking surprised.
With comment sections repeating the same sentiment, that this was the moment Infinity War earned its place in history. And so the fans agreed that Thor's Wakanda entrance is peak cinema. Nothing in Phase 4 has...
I don't know, do we think that Infinity War was just so memorable just because there was so much shit in front of your face at all moments of time? Like, if there wasn't almost every fucking character in the MCU, would it have been as iconic and historical? If they would have left that part out, if it would have been the classic crew or some shit, the classic crew of 5.
Even come close. And the way Thanos' army just stops, even they know it's over. Even today, it is widely regarded as the greatest entrance in MCU history. But while Thor's arrival was pure electricity...
Which also, speaking on Thor's arrival, right? It pisses me off that we literally have a demigod in the fucking MCU that just can't just stop everything at his will. At his own accord, where he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll handle this one again. And bam. Like, what are we talking about? Logistically speaking, he should be able to he should pose the biggest threat to everything and everybody in the MCU. Maybe second to a few, but not too many at all. Not too fucking many.
Greatest entrance in MCU.
He should be like the biggest OP
Thor's arrival
character
was pure
ever.
Electricity. The next cringe moment proved that even the MCU's smartest films can stumble badly. Black Panther 2018 was a cultural event, earning $1.3 billion worldwide, with 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, while also becoming the first superhero film nominated for Best Picture. Its themes were sharp, its cast was historic, and Shuri was already one of the film's funniest characters without any added effort. And then she screamed a 3-year-old Vine meme at the King of Wakanda's sandals. The "What are those?" reference originated in 2015.
I forgot about that. That shit was whack as fuck. But it was also just like we'll let it slide because the movie's good. I think that's just where my head was. I just didn't even think about it twice when I was watching it.
Film otherwise operating at a Shakespearean level of dramatic weight. Apparently, the moment became a talking point for entirely the wrong reasons, with online communities immediately pointing out how dated and jarring it felt. On top of that, despite the film holding a
that's like Reddit fucking
this scene
humor.
became a defining example in countless video essays of Hollywood chasing internet culture 3 years too late. But aside from that, even the original meme's creator, Brandon Moore, went on record saying the scene made him feel depressed every time he saw it. Since the film used his creation without credit or compensation, fans got upset, saying Black Panther was trying to be a generational film and then reminded me of 2015 Vine.
What are the who really signed off on that line in the script?
Unlike that misstep, the next badass moment arrived at exactly the right second. Captain America's Civil War in 2016
not too much of my boy Spidey.
$1.15 billion worldwide. But the moment that put this movie on the map was 30 seconds before the airport fight started. The scene was absolutely amazing as Spider-Man swings in, yanks Cap's shield midair, and lands with a casual wave.
Just hey everyone, good job.
Tom Holland, 20 years old, had never played the role before.
Is that not
and
Aura?
In half a minute, he made the internet forget every other Spider-Man that had ever existed. The moment became an overnight talking point, with communities across Reddit and Twitter erupting simultaneously. But that's not all. The "Hey Everyone" line became so viral that fan edits and reaction compilations flooded YouTube for weeks, with creators across every platform declaring it the greatest superhero introduction ever filmed.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if we're gonna talk, yeah, okay, so it's Aura. So the thing is that Tom is actually like the youngest person to play Spider-Man, and not only that, he's just genetically speaking looks younger and actually portrays a young dork-ish kind of teenager. That's kind of the demographic that we've always known. That's the demographic we fell in love with, and that's the demographic we want to play that role. So when you got a grown-ass man who looks like a fucking sex symbol, like goddamn Andrew Garfield, you kind of don't think so. You kind of like, he fucks too many bitches. Tom Holland, on the other hand, and nowadays he does, but like, primarily you're thinking like, you know what I mean? This is just another jit. But, yeah, hella Aura, bro. Hella Aura.
Fans couldn't contain it. 45 seconds in, and he's already the best MCU Spider-Man. While others said, Tom Holland said, "Hey everyone," and became the most beloved casting in superhero history. But where that debut
like, it just gives such awkward teenager vibes. That's the part that you want. The new movie was good. I went to the movies to watch it. Yeah, so did I. I would say, honestly, like a part of me that I was thinking in the back of my head watching New Day, I really thought to myself, like, it is insane. We've had him as Spider-Man for 10 years already, to the point where he just looks naturally comfortable in that suit. And like, a lot of people will talk a bunch of bullshit. The suit looks fake, gimmicky. Bro, it's New Day, bro. He doesn't have anybody to make his suits. He doesn't have fucking Iron Man. He doesn't have any fucking money. He doesn't have any friends, and nobody remembers him. He had to do all this shit by himself, by his own resources. Obviously, the suit looks cheap. It was his fucking suit he made from hand. Duh. 1. 2, regardless, he just looks comfortable wearing a Spider-Man suit. Because he quite literally is like the #1 Spider-Man. Regardless of how you feel, I would say Toby, he was the best movie. Andrew was the best Spider-Man. Andrew was the best Spider-Man, and Tom was the best Peter Parker. I think that's the way my ranking goes for those 3. So they really are almost interchangeable. And man, it's gonna be really hard being the fourth person. Because you can give all grace 3, but the 4th is gonna be hard as shit. And then I guess that's when you go into subcategories of Miles Morales and a bunch of other bullshit. which I love the fact that we're trying to include the Miles Morales version of him in, but it's like the natural Peter Parker. Where do we go from there? Because at some point he does have to switch.
Effortless, the next cringe moment felt like the complete opposite. Avengers Age of Ultron grossed $1.4 billion. The sequel to the highest grossing superhero team-up ever made introduced one of its most controversial romances, with Bruce Banner falling face first into Natasha Romanoff mid-flight, and somehow the film played it as a romantic chemistry moment. As a result, the scene immediately
Not gonna lie, she's probably taking that big ass green dick. Real shit.
Not the kind any studio really wants. Fans and critics latched onto it as a symbol of a forced pairing nobody asked for, with review after review singling out the Hulk-Widow romance as its weakest thread, and this scene as the moment the pairing lost the audience. On top of that, it became so infamous that fan edit channels compiled.
I know Mark Ruffalo was pissed. When it wasn't his human form getting kissed. It was like, it's a CGI Hulk, not me. He was pissed when he was looking at that script. How close? That's like playing the fucking Powerball and then fucking only hitting like 3 or 4 numbers.
Alongside other awkward MCU moments, cementing it as the franchise's most unintentionally funny attempt at romantic chemistry. The internet was blunt, as some ended up saying they really thought face collision was the chemistry moment, and nothing about this pairing was earned, and this scene is where it collapsed. Even today, it remains one of the MCU's most baffling staging choices. Thankfully, the next legendary moment proved the franchise still knew how to make something feel inevitable. Avengers Age of Ultron has some great moments, and the party scene is one of them. It starts with everyone failing to lift the hammer.
Yo, I'm not even gonna try to disrespect Stan Lee like this, just because, like, I get it. He quite literally is damn near the god of the MCU, right? Like, obviously, he's the one who created all of it and shit, and whatever. And nobody would be here. None of these movies would be here. None of the comics would be here without him. Why do we need him in so many cameos? I feel like it gets to a point where it's like it's kind of not funny or like good anymore. You know what I mean? It gets annoying, kind of looking at him. He's cool and all, that's the boy, but like, really, bro? Fries, bro. You've done enough. You get enough recognition. You do not need to be on screen. We do not have to force you in a scene.
Steve Rogers gripping it just enough to make
that's just my opinion, though. In my opinion,
but that was just the start.
That's corny as shit.
Avengers Endgame, when Thor was pinned and losing, Mjolnir tore across the battlefield and landed directly in Steve Rogers' hand.
Yeah. I know that shit hurt Thor's pride, bro. Thor is like, damn, I knew I wasn't tripping that night. But fuck. Because then he just feels less validated and less special. As I was just saying, he is a demigod. He should be, like, above a lot of things. So not a lot of people should even get close to his level of power.
The moment became the loudest single cheer in the entire final battle, with every platform erupting at once. Thor's reaction was nothing short of amazing, as he ended up screaming, "I knew it," which became its own separate viral moment. Apparently fans had no chill, as they said, the single most earned moment in superhero film history, and Thor's face says everything. He was genuinely proud of him. While this one was a masterstroke, the next one was widely criticized by fans for its awkwardness. Bruce Banner spent 3 films wrestling with one of the most psychologically complex dynamics in the MCU, the man who couldn't be the monster, and the monster who wouldn't cooperate. And then
how fucking Bruce Banner has ED for the Hulk.
Avengers Endgame of 2019 resolved it entirely off screen, presented it as a 5-year time jump joke, and asked audiences
HD
to watch
fucking
Mark
Hulk
Ruffalo take
dysfunction
selfies with kids in a diner and sign autographs in a purple t-shirt.
Oh yeah. Say green.
The moment became a talking point immediately, but the conversation was mostly confusion. Communities across Reddit and Twitter were largely united on the matter, saying Smart Hulk's the natural conclusion to the story they were telling, but it felt like a slap in the face to wrap up the 10+ year arc of a fan favorite character off.
At least in New Day, they teased the Hulk actually being OP again. Bro's like 10 feet fucking tall, and the Hulk that we had just saw in New Day, also, spoiler alert, can literally jump over fucking states. That's not an exaggeration. Can jump, leap over states. Like, you know how they like do little hurdles and track and shit? Can leap over states. Had that same Hulk had once punched a hole in a fucking earth. yeah, that Hulk don't play around. So that Hulk is nice to see. Just kind of sad that they've held him for the last few fucking years. A few years.
Screen. I also could have done with less dabbing. And so Smart Hulk's introduction was consistently singled out in fan discussions as the single biggest narrative shortcut in the entire Infinity Saga. Even today in the comment section of the video, fans leave long breaths of disappointment, saying they skipped the entire arc Ragnarok was building and replaced it with a man-child taking selfies, and the most compelling character dynamic in the MCU resolved between films. We didn't even get a scene, but unlike the Smart Hulk dabbing scene, which left many fans disappointed, another superhero moment became a cultural icon for its...
Well, I think the biggest problem of Hulk is like how far are you willing to go to like really make him feel interesting? Because outside the fact that he is large and green, what is actually that interesting about the Hulk? And I love the Hulk, right? Because like he can be OP as fuck, and you know, like his backstory is actually fucking like kind of gives you chills, where it's like bro could be a fucking villain and not a hero. But he ends up being a hero somehow. Even though the hero's always got to keep him on a fucking leash. Where do you go with the Hulk, right? Because on one side of the plane, he is like the perfect material for a hero and can do great things. But on the other hand, on the other side, he's too fucking OP. He's not that interesting to just kind of give him a short buff and just let him still kind of just be close enough, maybe lose, and end up prevailing, right? That's hard to do with the Hulk because, you know, his powers are very one-dimensional. Brute force. That is it. It is just fucking brute force and nothing can stop him. So, if nothing can stop him, what's the point of even making him a movie? But to contradict what I just said, I would really love like for them to give the Hulk a real authentic, nice movie where it shows like his like origins. Hulk's origin is fucking insane. It is actually fucking top tier storytelling. Bruce was fucking like abused as a kid from his stepfather or some shit like that, and then had no friends growing up and developed like a fucking imaginary friend from just trauma that was named the Hulk. And then that comes out of him when it needs to survive or whatever the fuck. So that is like his almost alter ego, and that's why every single time he says he can't even say the Hulk is because he literally gets triggered from that thing or those bad moments in his life. It's fucking insane. I would very much prefer a movie like that where it shows us him as a little kid, see these, you know, these character development stages, shows us all that extra shit, and then show us modern day Hulk and give us a resolution there. Give us something where not no bullshit where he needs to be half human, half Hulk, you know, half Bruce Banner, half Hulk. Give us a permanent solution. Maybe separate the two. Maybe heal that trauma. Maybe that's the movie right there. Introduce the character, have him be who he is, and then heal that trauma so that now the powers are fixed. Maybe they're better. I don't fucking know. Figure it out. So much missed opportunity there.
Sheer coolness. Steve Rogers is seen alone facing Thanos' army stretching to every horizon, his suit torn, shield raised, standing against the impossible. And just as things start to feel heavy, a voice comes through his earpiece.
I'm back. How is your nut?
On your left.
Bro probably bust the fattest nut ever. Thinking about me.
And in the
Last
movie,
voice
when
he
the
heard,
sling ring portals open and
just
every
fucking
hero the
whamming his
MCU
shit.
had built across 11 years stepped back through one by one, theaters in every country erupted differently for every character, making it the single greatest talk of the town moment in
Turn the
MCU
comments into
history for
movies.
its sheer scale and
Duh,
impact.
Jack, 'cause
On
it's kinda
top
what
of
they
that,
do.
the Russo
But
brothers fought for months in
I
the
don't know.
editing room to give each hero their own individual entrance. But that's not all. Kevin Feige himself reportedly watched audience reaction videos and cried. Even in 2026, the scene is still used in film essays and superhero retrospectives executives worldwide as the definitive example of a cinematic payoff done right. And so fans still say it. I've never heard a crowd react like that to anything. And the moment On Your Left plays, that's the greatest minute in superhero film history. While this moment captured every fan's heart perfectly, MODOK showed a reminder of how far things can fall. In
This
the
shit was
comics,
ass, yeah.
MODOK is one of Marvel's most iconic villains, a
Seeing that
grotesque
shit
super
pissed me
genius
off.
built for pure menace. The MCU version arrived in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, reimagined as a mutated
That shit was
Darren Cross
corny as fuck.
floating through the quantum realm. And when his death scene finally came, the film delivered
Seeing
its
this
final
shit made me
words.
like want to just leave
That
the movie
moment
theater.
became a
'Cause
talking
I was like,
point
what am I
overnight,
watching?
but not the kind any studio really wants. Communities lit up in disbelief at a scene that couldn't decide whether it was comedy or drama and therefore failed as both.
Bro looked like fucking Mr. Electricidad. Like, that shit's fucking insane.
On top of that, the film holds a 6.0 out of 10 on IMDb and a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the lowest rated Phase 5 entry at launch, with MODOK's death singled out in review after review as the clearest symbol of the film's identity crisis. Consequently, fans didn't hold back, with some saying a death scene that failed as both a joke and a dramatic moment simultaneously. And Marvel gave us I Am Iron Man and Don't Be a Dick from the same franchise. That's the whole story of the decline. Even today, MODOK's exit is seen as a clear symbol of Phase 5's identity crisis, a franchise that once ended its greatest hero with 4 words written overnight, but now struggles to land a single moment.
I liked it. I liked it. You get a like from me. Yeah, and that was the most cringe versus the most iconic MCU moments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Try to get to fucking 1 million subscribers overnight. Actually, one of my weakest nuts, by the way. What is wrong with you, bro?
I don't owe you shit, bitch, I don't owe you nada. They keep asking me how much of the green that I got in the bank, and I say enchilada. Got this shit in my cup, I just pour each the pig with some green in my stomach, gon' cost more than water. For what they say, I can't hear what they say, they been mad at me just cause my money got long. Got your bitch at the crib and she all on my dick when I hit it, it spit like a motherfucking llama. I know I'ma make you see me right now. Next thing that you know, I'ma blow like I'm summer. Pulled up in this bitch in presidential whip when I hop out this hole, you might think